Hello, my name is Ace, and this is my GDQ submission video for Airboat percent. Let's go ahead and get right into this. So Airboat percent is, what we're going to be doing is going through the entire game, and instead of using the portal gun, using airboats to get through the entire game, using the variety of glitches associated with them. For example, spawning an airboat in the floor so that you can clip through a wall and get out of the vault early. Yeah, this is a pretty busted run because of the airboats, especially in the very beginning. There's lots of cool tricks we can do, like we can get out of the airboat on top of the elevator here, just so we can save a little bit of time in elevator rides. Now we're gonna come over here and spawn an airboat in the glass. Oh. Spawn a single airboat in the glass instead of multiple. There we go. Now we can jump in this baby and drive it in. And we don't like doing puzzles either, so we're just gonna go ahead and spawn an airboat under this door. And just like we did with the first elevator, we're going to spawn an whoa. Okay, we're gonna spawn an airboat inside this elevator and hop out on top of it. We're gonna do this on literally every elevator in this game just because we can speed it up very, very slightly by doing this, just by not having to wait for the elevator to come all the way up, or not having to wait for the elevator door to open, etc. So now we're going to skip this cutscene here by just hopping in an airboat through the glass, and we're gonna get our first example of airboat boosting. So basically, by spawning a lot of airboats all at the same time, all in one place, we can launch ourselves pretty heckin' far. So we're gonna use this mechanic quite a bit, because it can give us, like, depending on how we do an airboat boost, we can either get a lot of height or a lot of speed. Both of which are very beneficial for, like, crossing large gaps, like this one right here, for example. Ooh. Let's try that again. There we go. And we're gonna do it again to get to the end of this chamber. Just like that.
Remember, the Aperture Science Bring Your Daughter to Work Day is the perfect time to have her tested.
So, since we're going to be doing a couple of the same glitches for the next few chambers, I want to talk about the origins of this run a little bit. Basically, it is a running joke in the Portal speedrunning community, or it was an old joke in the Portal speedrunning community, I should say, by using airboats to complete the game, because it just so happens to be that the command that we use to spawn airboats isn't actually protected by SV cheats, so technically, according to the game, spawning airboats isn't cheating. So we had joked for a long time about using airboats to skip the vault like I did in the very beginning of this run. But now I decided to take that idea and turn it into a full speed run, and now we're here.
Good job.
So now I'm gonna sit here and wait in this airboat for a little bit because I gotta wait for Glados' voice line to finish before the elevator moves, and then once the elevator starts moving, I'm gonna pop out on top of it. There we go. So here we've got another airboat boost we're gonna do. We're going to spawn a lot of airboats right here, just so we can try and launch ourselves right to the end of the level. Just like that. Unfortunately, we didn't get to place an airboat in here, but we went pretty fast into the elevator. And we're not losing that much time by not being outside the elevator, so it's fine. Next chamber, we're doing the same thing. As you can see, the whole spawning a ton of airboats thing can be pretty broken. It might not have been an intended mechanic in the game for you to be able to spawn airboats at all times. Oh, and also, another thing I should mention, currently, my key to spawn airboats is actually my mouse wheel, which is how I'm spawning so many airboats so fast. It's literally the only way to do this run, really. Just because this is such a useful mechanic.
Any contact with the chamber floor will result in an unsatisfactory.
Yeah, we're getting pretty close to where the run starts to get a couple more glitches associated with it.
Very impressive. Please note that any appearance of danger is merely a device.
So in this chamber, we're gonna AVH out. I'm gonna attempt to spawn an airboat under this door. Ooh, that was close. That was almost it.
Is impossible.
There we go.
Make no attempt to solve it.
Now we're moving on to Chamber 10. Chamber 10, we're gonna see another cool skip using the same glitch that we used to get on top of the elevator. I'll explain it a little more as we get closer to it. But basically, it allows us to skip the elevator ride. Like, completely.
Hello again. To reiterate.
Oop. So, we're gonna hop in this airboat here so that we can get up the stairs, and now we're gonna do just a short little airboat boost across this gap. Oh, let's... let's try that again. There we go.
Spectacular.
And now we're gonna repeat that process, and then we'll start trying to do the glitch that I was talking about. So basically, oh, that's actually not good. We don't want that to happen. So basically, there is a trigger right here above this elevator that for some reason, whenever you touch it, it just immediately loads the next map. So instead of sitting through the entire elevator ride, I'm instead just gonna spawn an airboat right here on top of the elevator and then boost up with the airboat and hopefully not lose too many frames doing it. So just so we can get right up here into the next chamber. And so now for this chamber, it gets a little interesting. We're gonna have to try and get on top of the level. So we want to hop in this airboat right here. And this is because we actually need to set up an out of bounds little segment. So we're gonna spawn an airboat out of bounds in this wall and hop into it. Now we're gonna drive this bad boy over this part of the level, the next part of the level, and then we're gonna save and load a few times to just kind of clip us down into it. Every time we save and load while crouched and we're out of bounds, we'll go down just a little bit so we can use that to get back in bounds there. And now we need, since we re-entered the map like that, this elevator actually won't open, so we need to use an airboat to get into it, and then we can just pop out on top of it. So now we're gonna get our first real vertical airboat boost. So I'm gonna line myself up right here, and I'm going to try an airboat boost to the very top of the chamber. This may take a couple attempts because this is pretty precise, but we'll get there. Oh, that was close. This is good though. From this platform, we can do another vertical airboat boost, and instead of going the full distance, go a slightly shorter distance. There we go. Now we're gonna take this cube, and there appear to be a couple airboats down there actually, so I can't chuck the cube down onto the button. So instead we're just gonna spawn an airboat in this door and hop through. Normally it'd be faster for us to throw the cube, just because it takes no time at all to do it, but I couldn't throw the cube down there. All the airboats were blocking the button. So you might have noticed in that chamber, I had a little bit of FPS issues. So one of the major strats in this game, since we have to spawn so many airboats sometimes, is actually trying to spawn the least amount we need to. Just because it can be such a huge pain to deal with having such a low frame rate. Oh, that was close. So, fun fact, if you are in an airboat, whenever it gets destroyed by the fizzler, your game is gonna freak out for about 2 seconds and then it crashes. Because the game tries to delete the player from the game. It realizes it's not supposed to do that. And yeah, then it just crashes on you. So here we're doing another airboat boost to get up onto this platform. That took a few more attempts than it usually does, but that's a-okay. So in Chamber 15, we got a couple more airboat boosts we're going to do. This horizontal airboat boost that I'm doing is actually somewhat new to this category, and it's a huge time saver, because before we would have to like set up these kind of slow clips to try and progress through the levels, but these airboat boosts allow us to get a lot of speed and height at the same time. So instead of clipping through the glass with an airboat, we can literally just launch ourselves over it, which is really nice. So if I was playing on an older version of the game, I wouldn't have to actually do this section here, but I have to spawn a lot of airboats in this tunnel so that I can try and cross through the goo. If I was playing on an older version where I I could have free movement out of bounds, then that would be ideal, but I'm not currently playing on that version. So instead, I'm stuck in here in this goo tunnel trying to climb on airboats. We're almost done though, and we're good to go. Easy peasy. So now we're gonna do a double airboat boost. We're gonna do a horizontal airboat boost into a vertical airboat boost, so that we can try and get ourselves to this platform over here, and we're almost there. Oh, that was close. That was really close. Oh, that was really close again. Ah. This airboat boost is kind of tricky, just because you have to do 2 somewhat precise airboat boosts in a row. And it can be a little finicky which way you get sent by the airboats. Oh, that was so close, again. Dang, dude. I usually get in less attempts than this, but there we go. So now we're just gonna hop in our handy little airboat here, get out in the elevator. So now Chamber 16 is coming up next, and this is the turret chamber. I do actually have a theory skip for this that I'll talk about a little bit afterward, I guess, maybe? But basically, what we're going to have to do here, because we're not able to do the theory skip, we're gonna have to try and deal with all these turrets while clipping through walls and stuff with airboats. So I'm going to hop in this airboat and drive it left into this turret to knock it over, and also give myself cover from that turret over there, knock it down with an airboat, knock this one down, place it on the button, knock that bad boy over there down so he can't shoot me, so I can climb up here, and then from here I can line up an airboat clip just to get into the last room and knock the other turret over, and we're good to go. That can actually be pretty hard, so I'm happy that I got all that pretty much first try. It's on Chamber 17. I know a couple people are gonna be sad about this, but we're just gonna completely skip over the companion cube. We're just gonna get right here and just go straight to the end with our airboats. It's tragic, but we do what we must for speed. Also, that clip that I just did was actually pretty precise, and I got the faster version of it too, which is pretty sick. Now coming up here in Chamber 18, we've got another skip, or another tough skip. We're gonna airboat boost across this first gap here. Ideally, that's what we'll do. Having a couple issues. Alright, plan B. I'm gonna AVH across this gap. There we go. Also, I never talked about it, but there's a movement mechanic in this game called AVHing, and basically, by bunny hopping backwards, the game is, instead of slowing me down, giving me more speed every single time I jump. I completely forgot to talk about that. I was just talking about airboats. But yeah. That clip that airboat boost I just did was pretty tough, but we got it pretty quick, and now we've got an airboat boost all the way to the top of this chamber. We're already almost there, actually, which is pretty good. There we go, nice. And we are done with Chamber 18. So now, the same as Chamber 5, we have to wait for Glados to stop talking before we can get out of this airboat here. So once the elevator starts moving, I'll hop out. There we go. So now we're moving on to Chamber 19. So Chamber 19 is one of the toughest chambers in this game. All of the escapes are actually pretty tough. They were tough to route and play. Or they're tough to route and run. Basically, we're going to start off by clipping through this wall, and we're going to spawn a bunch of airboats in this goo over here, so that we can try and climb on top of them. Uh-oh. That's not good. Alright, let's try that again. So right now you can't see the airboats, but I'm spawning them in that goo while I'm waiting to get out of this airboat. Now we're just gonna climb on top of these bad boys and then do an airboat boost up. Nice, and we got that clip first try, or that boost first try. We're gonna come over here to this section and then climb up this wall with a barrel.
fire to your victory incandescence.
And spawn an airboat in this fence so that we can jump through it. Now, we're gonna pray here that this airboat doesn't kill us, but we're gonna open this door. Oh, that's not good.
Thank you for
I've got to redo that clip. So sometimes this airboat can actually just block your way completely from the door. Sometimes the door will just straight up send the airboat out of bounds, which is, like, pretty good. That's pretty ideal. But we're not getting lucky in this case. So, I'm gonna try this clip again.
In this amateur science computer-aided enrichment activity. Goodbye.
Dang. We're not getting lucky at all with this clip. If it doesn't work a couple more times, I've got a backup clip I can do, which is 100% consistent.
Goodbye.
Did it just put me in the ceiling? Oh, that's neat. What the hell?
Thank you for participating in this amateur science computer-aided enrichment activity. Goodbye.
Alright, there we go. It sent the airboat straight out of bounds. Now we're gonna hop in this airboat on the other side of this fan, so that we can airboat boost ourselves up on top of this catwalk here. And then from the catwalk, we're going to do another out-of-bounds skip. So we're going to line up on this wall, spawn an airboat up here, and then we're going to drive this airboat from out-of-bounds up here all the way to the end of the level. Oh, I may have missed it. Yeah, we missed it. Dang. Let's give it another shot. Alright, nice. This is where we want to land. I'm going to turn sideways here so it doesn't so that I get placed actually above the ground. And I'm going to do another save load clip to get myself back in bounds. And there we go. Now I'm going to line up here. I got to do a pretty precise airboat clip. There we go. We want this oh wait. Okay, there we go. We want that airboat to land a very specific way so that we can actually get out of it. And then there's also an invisible wall right here that we can't pass until we place 2 portals inside this area right here. And obviously it's a little difficult for us to place portals there. So instead we're just going to get past the invisible wall using an airboat. So now using this piston, we're going to get a little bit of extra height from the momentum of the piston so that we can jump into that airboat over there. And now we're going to move behind the level a little bit. So there's no way for us to get past this except for back here. So we're going to get to this little section that you're not supposed to be able to get to normally so that we can get ourselves onto this platform. And then we're going to set up another vertical airboat boost. I'm going to place an airboat here and stand on top of it and then try and boost myself to the top of this room so that I can set up another out-of-bounds section. Oh, that was not really a good attempt. Alright, nice. We're up here. So now I'm going to go to this other behind-the-scenes section of the level, because right now I want to get to this room above me. So I'm going to spawn an airboat in the room above me, and then do another airboat boost up to it. And the reason why we want to get up here is because from here we'll be able to set up an airboat clip that will get us straight to the end of the level and skip over one of the most painful rooms in this run to do. Initially we didn't actually have this clip, so we had to do the entire like large piston room, and it was the most random level in this game, like easily, and it was just bad and awful, and it took forever to do because it was inconsistent. But now instead we've got this clip, which is both faster and a lot less painful to do. So now we're going to stand on top of this airboat that's kind of like half in and half out of the wall. And we're going to do another airboat boost that we can get right over here to the end. Spawn one more airboat, and we're at the end of this map. Oh, okay, we almost fell. We're good though. So now right at the beginning of Escape 01 here, I'm going, like, there are some turrets that are in these rooms, so I'm just going to go ahead and spawn airboats in them to kill them. Turn over this barrel on its side, and then use it to knock over that turret. And now I'm going to do a lineup real quick so that I can spawn an airboat through this wall. Oop, we messed up the lineup a little bit. There we go. We want to spawn an airboat in this wall so that we can get out here. And now, on the other side of this wall, there is another room with a turret in it that we're just going to use this airboat to clip into so that we can knock the turret over and grab it. And we're going to use this turret to climb up to the next section that we want to go to. So we're going to do a little item climb here. Hop right here. And we're going to make our way to the rocket turret room, except instead of using the rocket turret to break the glass, we're, once again, surprise, surprise, just gonna clip through the glass with the airboats. And now there's one more piece of glass that we would normally have to clip through, but I discovered that it's actually faster to clip through right here instead.
This is your last chance. Do you? This is your last chance.
It's almost the same speed as clipping through the glass, and I'm actually not sure why I'm not getting it. That's weird.
This is your last chance. This is your
Usually this is like a first try and I'm done sort of thing, but whatever. Yeah, it's almost the same speed as clipping through the glass, but you're doing the clip slightly earlier. So it makes it faster. So now we're gonna climb into this vent using the airboat while it's freaking out for some reason. I have no idea why. Do another little lineup that we can get ourselves out of bounds so we don't have to try and deal with this fan. Normally the only way to get past this fan that's right there is with portals, but since we've got an airboat, there's no need for portals. So now we're just gonna ABH to the end of this map. And we're at the last map in the game. All we have to do now is get to GLaDOS and fight her. Ooh, can I make it up? Alright, nice. Alright, so I'm gonna do another little lineup here so I can spawn an airboat in this wall and get in it. It's close, dude, it's close. There we go. Now we're just gonna hop out. Ooh, that was a really good clip. That is a really rare clip and really precise clip. Normally we'd have to go and find a radio to go and climb out of the gap with, but sometimes the airboat will just place you outside of it like that, which is really nice for us. So now we're gonna try and do an airboat boost up just a little bit. We gotta do a horizontal airboat boost into a vertical airboat boost again, except now we're right next to a wall, so it kills us a lot, which is unfortunate. Okay, this might be good. Oh, that's close. That's close. Just need to get a little bit of height without actually dying. Oh, okay. Nice, we're getting the height. And now we've got to save where we have a little bit of height, which is nice. Oh, and there we go. Now we're just going to jump down onto this catwalk over here. We're going to make our way to the Glados Room, which honestly is probably one of the toughest parts of this game. And we've got a pretty unstable frame rate right now. It keeps dipping to like the 30s and stuff. But once we get into the Glados Room, every airboat on the map is going to despawn, which is nice. So now we've got to kill GLaDOS without the portal gun. You might be wondering, how the heck are you going to get the rocket turret to aim at GLaDOS? And how the heck are you going to gather the cores? Well, my friend, do I have the answers for you. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to wait for GLaDOS to drop this core. We're going to hit this button and then go and grab the core. And go ahead and drop the core in there. Except we missed the timing just a little bit because we were a little slow. That's fine, because we'll just go re-push the button and then drop it in. Just like that. Now we've got a little bit of time to mess around. So this would be a good point in the run to read donations. TBH. While I just sit here and mess around for a little bit while GLaDOS does her little speech thing or something. I can sit here and stack chairs, which is pretty neat while you're reading donations. Uh-oh. We almost lost our chair stack. Alright, and then let's top it off with an airboat. So now the way that we're going to get the rocket turret to aim at GLaDOS is, there's a little spot, just a tiny little spot, really precise spot that we can stand on right here on this railing and have the rocket turret shoot directly at GLaDOS, just like that. So, normally you would not be able to stand on that railing to have the rocket turret shoot at GLaDOS because there's a giant little block that the developers put in there that the AI just can't see through. It's invisible to the player, but the AI just can't see through it. And it's basically covering that entire railing, except for a tiny little sliver of it that you can stand on. Right where I was. And then if you can stand on that spot and get it to aim at the right chord, or at the right spot, it hits GLaDOS directly, which is really nice. So now we need to get that core up there, so we're going to do an airboat boost here. Oh, nice. That was really good. Normally that can take a lot more tries. We're gonna drop that core off, buy the incinerator, go over here and push the button and then drop her in. So then we only have one more hit left to do. Well, I actually got clipped into Glados for a second there. This isn't like the most precise lineup because Glados' animation is really weird at this point. And we got it. So we're just gonna go and grab this core from the air. This one can be pretty tough to get sometimes. Ah! We almost had it. Almost had it. Okay. We've got the core. We have the core. So we're gonna drop her off right over there and go push the button. And then once we drop this core in the incinerator and my crosshair disappears and there's an explosion, that will be time. And that is Portal done with airboats.
What's your point anyway?
Survival. Well then, the last thing you want to do is hurt me.
So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. This is actually being submitted as a race with Alex Howe, by the way, and this could be a pretty exciting race just because a lot of the clips and boosts can go either or, since they're so random sometimes, so this would probably be a pretty close race all the way to the end. And a pretty entertaining race, in my opinion, because of the dumb nature of the airboats themselves. Yeah, thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.